Hi everyone, I'm Yumu from Susan's family. Today, I'll show you a journey to the West Doll's Seriest, the White Dragon Horse Doll. For this electronic tutorial, you can check on the website by searching for susud.com. This doll consists of two parts, the main part and accessories. First, we will complete the main part. Then, we will make and attach all the accessories. Let's start with the crochet method for the main part. The main part includes the head, legs, body, belly, neck, and ears. We'll start by crocheting the head. The head begins with the magic ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. You will need to switch colors while crocheting. Before we begin, let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, our plus number indicates the round number. The column for stitch instructions shows the stitch patterns you'll need, and any increasing or decreasing required for that round. The total stitches column indicates the total number of stitches in that round. After all the stitches have been completed, this doll is crocheted entirely using the X stitch single crochet. For the rest of the process, we will simply refer to it as single crochet. The stitches used include X single crochet, V single crochet increase, a single crochet decrease, chain stitch, and slip stitch. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. For your convenience in seeing more clearly, I'll use thicker yarn for this demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. The starting stitch is up, Mr. This indicates that the casting on method is an adjustable magic ring. First, wrap the yarn around your finger to create the magic ring. That completes the cast on. Next, crochet the first round. Our 1 is 6x. The number before X tells you how many single crochets to make. This indicates inside the magic ring loop. Crochet 6 single crochets. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This turning chain is not marked on the chart. In reality, when crocheting in rounds, you need to make a turning chain at the beginning of each round. The turning chain for single crochet doesn't count as one stitch. Begin with the first single crochet. Insert into the magic ring. Place the hook above the yarn tail. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. And draw through all the loops on the hook. 1 X stitch single crochet is completed. The braid on the upper right is its stitch. Continue to finish the remaining 5 single crochets. After completion, close the magic ring. Simply tighten it. The loop is now closed. Then, on the first single crochet of this round, work 1 slip stitch. If you do not know where the first stitch is, you can also count the stitches from back to front. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. You need to tighten the yarn. The slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. In reality, when crocheting in rounds, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and tighten it. This way, the first round is completed. Move on to crochet the second round. Round 2 is 6V. The number before the V indicates how many single crochet increases to work continuously. Here it means to work 6 single crochet increases. Start with 1 chain as the turning chain. Let me emphasize this again. At the start of each round, you need to make a turning chain. I won't repeat this for the following rounds. In the first single crochet stitch of the previous round, work 1 single crochet increase, that is, in the insertion position of the slip stitch. Work 2 single crochets. While crocheting, place the starting yarn tail over your hook and weave it in as you go along. 1, 2. The single crochet increase is completed. Continue to make a single crochet increase in the next stitch on the left. Don't forget to weave the yarn tail. The second single crochet increase is done. In this round, you need to work 6 single crochet increases in total. For the remaining 4, all of them should be worked using the method of making 2 single crochets into each stitch. After completing the last single crochet increase, check the stitch count. You can count the stitches backward. There are 12 stitches in this round. The total number of stitches for each round is marked in the corresponding chart. I won't explain this again later. Next, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Be sure to pay attention. At the end of each round, you need to slip stitch into the first stitch. After completing the slip stitch, pull tight. Directly cut off the extra starting yarn tail. The second round is now complete. Continue with the third round. R3 is X, V, asterisk 6. The parentheses here indicate a group. Asterisk and number indicates the number of times to repeat the group. Start with 1 single crochet. Then work 1 single crochet increase. X, V, is now completed. Let me demonstrate it again. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make 1 single crochet increase. This is the second time. For this round, you need to repeat X, V 6 times. The remaining 4 times are all worked as 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet's increases. And by joining with a slip stitch to the first stitch, tighten the yarn. The third round is now completed. You can take a look. The texture on the right side of the fabric is clear. The texture on the wrong side is blurry. When crocheting, always keep the right side facing you. For the fourth and fifth rounds, even 1/8x means starting from the fourth round. Work a single crochet in each stitch. There are 18 stitches in every round. Continue crocheting until the end of the fifth round. The method is relatively simple. Everyone can finish it on their own. After completing the fifth round, flip the piece so that the right side faces outward. Take a look. One raised texture on the right side represents one round. A total of 5 rounds have been crocheted so far. Move on to the 6th round. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitches. When you reach the last single crochet increase, since the next round requires a color change, switch colors on the last single crochet. Work 1 single crochet first. When crocheting the second single crochet, start with an incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. The incomplete single crochet is now finished. Next, take the yarn for the following round. The swatch uses random colors. Pull the yarn through. Adjust a little. Complete the single crochet and the color change. End with a slip stitch using the new yarn. Leave about 5 cm of the original yarn and cut it off. That concludes the 6th round. Continue to the 7th round. Directly crochet by referring to the chart. While crocheting, weave in the yarn tails together. Finish with a slip stitch at the end. The 7th round is now completed. From the chart, rounds 8 through 21 follow. The crocheting method is relatively simple. All the stitch techniques used have been demonstrated in detail before. The meaning of the stitch instructions is similar to what was shown earlier. Just follow the stitch order in the chart and crochet accordingly with the new yarn. While crocheting, don't forget the turning chain and slip stitch. Moving forward, use the method you learned earlier. Refer to the chart and complete this part on your own. Next, crochet round 22. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample swatch. There's no color change. Follow the actual project in your hands as the standard. Start with 2 single crochets. Then, make 1 single crochet decrease. Let's take a look first. The stitch looks like 2 loops of yarn. The loop closer to the right side is called the front loop. The other one is the back loop. Insert your hook into the front loop of the left single crochet stitch. Then insert it into the front loop of the adjacent single crochet stitch. There will be 3 loops on your hook. Place the hook above the yarn. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. There are 2 loops left. Yarn over again, and draw through in once. The single crochet decrease is now completed. The braid on the upper right is the resulting stitch. This method of picking up only the front loops for decreasing is called an invisible decrease. Use this technique when crocheting. The gaps between stitches will be smaller. The fabric will look more delicate overall. Continue working, referring to the chart for the corresponding number of single crochets. After completing, make one single crochet decrease. Hook through the front loops of the 2 adjacent stitches on the left side. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and draw through all loops again. The single crochet decrease is now completed. Move on to work 2 single crochets. Finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes round 22. The remaining stitches for the head are all relatively simple. Just refer to the chart for crocheting. You will also need to stuff while crocheting. Start stuffing when you reach about the 3rd to last round. Below, I'll demonstrate the stuffing method using a sample swatch. Fluff up the stuffing and then firmly stuff it inside. You can use the crochet hook to help push the stuffing in. The stuffing should be firm and evenly distributed. After achieving a generally full shape, adjust the curves of the fabric with your fingers. For the opening section, start by adding a small amount of stuffing first. When continuing to crochet later, you can stuff as you go. That's the method for stuffing. After completing the last round of the head, it's time to fasten off the yarn. Enlarge the loop and leave about 15 centimeters of the yarn tail before cutting. Then thread the yarn tail onto a darning needle. Pick up the front loops of the stitches from the last round one by one. And then pull tight in one motion. For the excess tail, sew through the adjacent area a few times. Insert the needle into the center of the closing point. Exit the needle from any position. Gently pull the yarn. Press the closing area flat. Run the excess tail through the inside of the fabric a few times to hide it. Trim off the excess tail. The closing is now complete. The explanation for the head is also done. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for the 4 legs. Take a look at the finished product. All are started with a magic ring, and crocheted in rounds counterclockwise. They are divided into front and back legs. Among them, the front and back legs also have left and right distinctions. The left and right here are based on the doll's own left and right sides. The crochet technique is similar. Add shaping wire and stuffing as you crochet. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. I will first demonstrate the method for crocheting the front legs. The first 2 rounds of the front legs are crocheted the same way as the first 2 rounds of the head. You can finish it on your own. Here, I've already crocheted in advance. Next, let's work on the 3rd round. For this round, you need to crochet into the back loops only. First, pick up the back loop and work 3 single crochets correspondingly. T represents half double crochet. Work 1 half double crochet. Remember, place the hook above the yarn and draw the yarn through. Except for slip stitches, all other stitch techniques require you to draw the yarn through in this way while crocheting. Continue to finish the half double crochet. Then work 1 more half double crochet. Fa indicates a double crochet decrease. The technique is to first work an incomplete double crochet. Yarn over. Insert into the corresponding back loop. Place the hook above the yarn. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops. 1 incomplete double crochet stitch is now completed. Work 1 more incomplete double crochet. Yarn over. Insert into the adjacent back loop. Place the hook above the yarn. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops. The second incomplete double crochet stitch is now finished. Yarn over and draw through all remaining loops on the hook. The double crochet decrease is now complete. The braid on the upper right represents the stitch count. Work 2 half double crochets. And then work 3 single crochets. After completing, tidy it up with the right side facing out. Then finish with a slip stitch. This completes the 3rd round. For the 4th round, work even with single crochets. When you reach the end with 1 stitch left, prepare to switch colors for the next round. Here, start with 1 incomplete single crochet. Insert your hook. Draw the yarn through. The incomplete single crochet is now done. Take the yarn for the next round. Draw the yarn through. Adjust it a little. Single crochet completed, and the color change is also complete. Finish with a slip stitch using the new yarn. Pull tight. Leave about 5 centimeters of the old yarn tail, and cut it off. Next, you need to crochet a round of slip stitches on or two. Use the yarn that was set aside earlier for crocheting. The sample is made for convenient watching. Other colors are used for demonstration. Insert into the stitch position of the third round. Draw the yarn through. Joining yarn is now complete. Then insert sequentially into the stitch positions and crochet slip stitches. Note that this round of slip stitches does not need to be tightened. After finishing the last stitch position, stretch the loop. Leave a tail of about 10 centimeters and cut the yarn. Thread the needle. Pass it under the chain of the first slip stitch. Then pass it back through the chain of the last slip stitch. And bring it to the wrong side. Adjust accordingly. This way, the seam will not be visible on the surface. Tie a knot with the yarn tail. Tuck the yarn tail into the fabric. This completes the round of slip stitches. Next, we'll work on round 5. Use the new yarn and refer to the chart to crochet the corresponding stitch. As you crochet, make sure to weave in the yarn tail. Finish with a slip stitch. That concludes round 5. For round 6 through 20, the working method is relatively simple. The stitch techniques used have all been demonstrated before. Just follow the chart to complete them. After completing round 20, you can add the shaping wire and stuffing. Take a small amount of stuffing first. Fluff it up with your hands. Then stuff it into the bottom of the leg and the joint areas, where it protrudes. You don't need to stuff too much, just an appropriate amount will do. You can use a crochet hook to help with this process. Make sure the bottom of the leg is flat. Then cut a piece of shaping wire about 40 centimeters long. Fold it in half. Press it flat. And give it a slight twist. Insert the folded position into the bottom of the leg. Then tidy it up a bit. That's how you complete adding the shaping wire. Later, refer to the chart while crocheting and adding stuffing, making sure to keep the shaping wire centered. The method is quite simple, so you can finish it on your own. After completing the last round, leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure it, then cut the yarn. And pull it tight. That concludes the crocheting of one front leg. Crochet the other front leg using the same method. The technique for the back legs is similar to the front legs. You can crochet them by referring to the chart. Make sure to add the shaping wire and stuffing as well. After finishing, leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. That concludes the crocheting of the legs. Once all 4 legs are completed, we will join them next. Then, crochet the body in rounds. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, join the 4 legs. Take one of the back legs and locate the 5th stitch from the last round. Take the corresponding yarn and join it. Start with 1 chain as your turning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Weave in the yarn tail together while crocheting. Then, continue to the left and make 27 single crochets correspondingly. Weave in the yarn tail again. After completing, crochet 25 chain stitches. Next, take one of the front legs. Make 1 single crochet into the first stitch of its last round. Pay attention not to twist the chain stitches. Continue to weave in the yarn tail. Continue with 15 single crochets correspondingly. After completing, crochet 10 chains. Next, take the other front leg. Start from the 10th stitch of its last round. Work 16 single crochets correspondingly. Then, crochet 25 chains. Take the last back leg. Begin from the 20th stitch. Work 28 single crochets correspondingly. Then, crochet 5 chains. Finish with a slip stitch at the starting single crochet of the left back leg. This joins all 4 legs together. Next, work the first round. Start by crocheting single crochets evenly into each stitch on the left side. When you reach the chain stitch position, pick up the half loop above the chains. Work single crochets correspondingly. Continue working single crochets evenly into the stitches and chain positions all the way down. Keep going until you complete this round. Finally, finish with a slip stitch. That completes the first round. The following crochet method is relatively simple. You can refer to the chart and finish crocheting on your own. Be mindful not to randomly adjust the increase or decrease stitch positions. After completion, leave a yarn tail of about 50 centimeters. This is what the small sample looks like after the body part is completed. Next, crochet in rounds below the legs for the belly part. Once done, sew together the opening position. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with the first round. Take the corresponding yarn. The small sample's color is random. Locate the 5 chain stitches in the middle of the back leg. Find the 1 chain stitch in the middle of these 5 chains. Pick up the other half loop of the chain and join the yarn. Start with 1 turning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Weave in the yarn tail together. Continue with 1 single crochet on the left chain. Then work a single crochet decrease on the left chain and the far right stitch of the right back leg. First, pick up the half loop from the top of the chain. Then, pick up the front loop of the stitch. Crochet an invisible single crochet decrease. Next, pick up stitches along the right back leg, and work 12 single crochets. Weave in the yarn tail together. After completing, on the last stitch, and the half loop of the left chain. Crochet 1 single crochet decrease. Continue working on the chain stitch position. Pick up the half loop, and work a corresponding single crochet. Follow this method. Refer to the chart and finish crocheting the remaining sections. When working the single crochet decrease, refer to the previous demonstration. Pay attention and make sure not to insert in the wrong position. Finally, end with a slip stitch. The first round is now complete. The following crochet techniques are relatively simple. Everyone can refer to the chart and finish them on your own. After completing, leave a yarn tail of about 50 centimeters. This is the small sample of the belly after it's done. Next, take the opening of the belly and sew it together using the whip stitch method. You can align the left and right legs to check. Thread the needle with the reserved yarn tail, which is roughly in the middle position between the two legs. Insert the yarn tail into the sewing needle. Pass the needle through the corresponding stitches on the edges. Inserting from front to back. Pull tight. At the starting position, sew one extra stitch to secure it. Then insert into the two adjacent corresponding stitches on the front and back. Pull tight. For each sewing motion, always go from front to back. Insert into the adjacent corresponding stitches on the front and back. Sew one stitch to another as you go. Continue until they are fully sewn together. At the end, sew one extra stitch to secure it. Weave the yarn tail inside, tie a knot, and weave in to finish. The belly is now complete. Next, we will crochet the neck. First, sew the back half of the body together. Then, crochet upward along the opening. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start by sewing the side seams of the body together. Before sewing, you can stuff the inside of the body. Make sure to tidy up the shaping wire on the same side. Pay attention, the shaping wire must go all the way to the bottom of the legs. You can wrap the shaping wire slightly. The stuffing should be even and full. Continue to stuff any areas of the legs that aren't full enough. After roughly completing it, cut a piece of waste yarn tail. Locate the 20th stitch of the final round on the body. Mark it. Then, starting from the marked position, count 49 stitches to the left. Place a mark on this stitch. Alternatively, you can directly find the centered 49 stitches. The marked position and the center position will be the area where you crochet the neck. Next, thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Match the marked positions accordingly. Sew together the remaining stitches one by one in corresponding pairs. Use the same sewing method as for the belly. Since the number of stitches to sew is odd, start by sewing 2 stitches to 1 stitch. You can stuff while sewing to ensure it's full. Finally, sew and secure at the marked position. Make sure to avoid any gaps. Finally, weave in the yarn tail carefully. That's it, the body is now sewn together. Next, we'll start crocheting the first row, at the last sewing position. Join the yarn on the second stitch from the right. Chain 1 as your turning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Work 1 single crochet in the next stitch on the left. For the 2 sewing positions on the left, work 1 single crochet in each stitch position as you pick them up. Continue picking up stitches and work 2 single crochets in the corresponding positions. Finally, secure the yarn tail. Stretch the loop. Pass the ball of yarn through the loop. Pull tight. That completes the first row. Now move on to the second row. For this row, continue crocheting on the right side. First, locate the third stitch from the right at the sewing position. That is, the position of 1 stitch to the right of the previous row's joining spot. Draw the yarn through. Pay attention to keep the carrying yarn on the backside slightly loose. This prevents the fabric piece from curling. Chain 1 to begin. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch position. As you crochet, bring the carried yarn along with it. Then, on the stitches of the previous row, correspondingly work 2 single crochets. There's no need to carry the yarn anymore. One single crochet decrease. and 2 single crochets. Then, on the left stitches of the first row, correspondingly work 1 single crochet, after completing, secure the yarn ends in the same way. Row 2 is now done. For the following rows 3 to 16, the crocheting method is similar to row 2. Start by joining the yarn at the corresponding stitch on the right side. Remember to keep the carrying yarn on the backside slightly loose. Then, at the position of the last round of the body and the previous row's stitches, work the corresponding stitch pattern. When crocheting the first stitch, slightly bring the carrying yarn along. Except for the last row, you need to secure the yarn tail at the end of each row. Everyone, refer to the chart and complete rows 3 to 16 on your own. After completing row 16, the following rounds will be crocheted in spirals. There is no need for a turning chain at the start of each round. There's no need to finish with a slip stitch at the end either, to distinguish the first stitch of each round. Take a short piece of yarn in a different color. About 15 centimeters is enough. Pull out 2 small strands from it. Place it in the middle position between the beginning and ending stitches. Then, refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitch on the body section and the previous row's stitches. After completing the stitches to the right side of the marker, it indicates the end of the entire round. A height difference between the beginning and end when crocheting in spirals is a normal occurrence. Round 17 is now completed. Continue with round 18. Start by moving the yarn marker from the back to the front, placing it in the middle position between the beginning and ending stitches. Then, refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitch pattern. After completing the stitches to the right side of the marker, round 18 is now finished. The following crocheting method is relatively simple. When counting rounds, start from the round where the marker is located, which is round 17. And continue crocheting all the way to the last round, mindful to stuff as you go. Finally, leave a yarn tail of about 50 centimeters before cutting the yarn. You can now remove the marker. Pay attention to stuffing firmly and evenly. This completes the neck. Move on to crocheting the ears. The crocheting method for both the left and right ears is identical. Start with a magic ring and crochet in rounds for 1 round. Then work back and forth. Finally, when crocheting the edging, incorporate a thin wire. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, begin with a magic ring. Crochet 6 single crochets in the first round. Tighten the yarn loop. Finish with a slip stitch. The first round is now complete. Then work the second row. Start with 1 chain stitch to begin. Work 6 single crochets, 1 in each stitch. No need for a slip stitch at the end. Trim the excess yarn tail from the starting chain. The second row is now complete. Next, work the third row. Start with 1 chain stitch to begin. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Pick up stitches and work single crochets, 1 in each stitch. Pay attention to the wrong side. The stitches will be on the top left. Once done, the third row is complete. For the following rows, rows 4 through 6, continue using the same method as row 3. Everyone can finish these on your own. After completing row 6, it's time to work on row 7. Start with 1 chain stitch to begin. Turn your work. Continue with 1 single crochet decrease. Be mindful when crocheting back and forth. Single crochet decreases are worked as usual. First, work 1 incomplete single crochet into the left stitch. Insert your hook into the stitch. Pull the yarn through. The incomplete single crochet is now done. Work another incomplete single crochet into the next left stitch. The second incomplete single crochet is now complete. Finally, yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook. The single crochet decrease is now complete. Next, continue with 2 single crochets. After that, work 1 single crochet decrease. Start with 2 incomplete single crochets. 1, 2. Yarn over again. Draw through once. The single crochet decrease is now done. Row 7 is also completed. You can see that crocheting back and forth creates a texture with alternating the right and wrong sides of single crochet stitches. You can simply count the rows by checking the texture. For rows 8 through 11, continue crocheting back and forth with the corresponding stitch patterns. Just refer to the chart to complete it. Now, take a look. This is what the sample looks like after completing row 11. We will consider the right side of the first round as the right side of the piece. Tidy up the fabric piece. Finally, we will crochet the edging. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain. Turn the work over. Insert the hook into the last row's stitch. Take out the thin wire. Place it on the crochet hook. Leave a little bit of space at the start. Crochet 1 single crochet stitch. Wrap the thin wire into the stitch. Then pick up the edge of the fabric piece, the spaces between rows. Correspondingly make single crochets. As you crochet, keep wrapping the thin wire into the stitches. When you reach the position of the first round, work single crochets corresponding to the insertion points of the second row single crochets. Continue picking up the side holes, and correspondingly work single crochets. When you get near the end with just a few stitches left, wrap in the thin wire that was reserved at the start. After completing the last hole's position, stretch the loop. Leave a tail of about 10 centimeters, then cut the yarn. Also trim off any excess thin wire. Thread the yarn tail into a sewing needle. Pass it through the starting stitch. Then bring it back through the previous stitch. Adjust as needed. This way, the seam won't be visible on the surface after binding off. Secure the yarn tail neatly on the wrong side. You can work a few more stitches to secure it if you like. Trim off the excess yarn tail. Adjust the ear a little bit. This completes one ear. Crochet the other ear using the same method. Please finish it on your own. That concludes the demonstration of crocheting the ears. Next, we will assemble all parts together. Start by securing the head. I'll continue to demonstrate with the sample swatch. There's no switching colors here. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Place the starting stitch of the head at the front. Position the slip stitch marks at the center below, which is the side of the head with the larger curve. Match and sew this to the corresponding position on the neck. Secure the last round of the neck to rounds 15 through 24 of the head. Use pins to hold it in place temporarily. Once you confirm the position fits properly, sew them together. Exit the needle from the corresponding position on the head. Insert through the edge of the neck. Pull tight. Continue and pass through to the head's corresponding position. Pass through the edge of the neck again. Tighten the yarn. Keep sewing to finish joining them. Adjust the position as you sew. Ensure the head fits properly in place. When you're almost done sewing, if you still want to add more stuffing, you can add a little more stuffing. After finishing all the sewing, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. This will secure the head firmly in place. Next, attach the two ears. First, locate the 24th round of the head. The position of 8 centered stitches on the top. Mark it with pins. Then cut a piece of yarn for crocheting the ears. The sample swatch uses random colors. Thread the needle. Take out one ear. Use it as the right ear. Position it so that the opening faces the right side of the body. Align the starting chain and the first round of the ear. With the corresponding marked position on the head. Leave a little yarn tail to start. The sewing method is not fixed. Just make sure it's secure. Pay attention to tightening the yarn, so that the ear stands upright. After securing it firmly, take out the other ear. Attach it on the other side using the same method. You can carry the yarn to the corresponding position on the other side. Ensure the opening faces the side of the body. Once completed, exit the yarn tail near the starting position. Tie a knot and hide it well. Secure the other yarn tail in the same way. You can bend the thin wire, tidy it up into the shape of a horse's ear. Specifically, you can make adjustments according to your preference. This way, the ears are secured. Up to this point, the main part has been covered.